Executive Director of the Helena Area Community Foundation, and welcome to another Ask Me Anything, where we sit down with nonprofit leaders from the greater Helena community and learn more about their organizations and how they make our hometown great. Our August 2024 nonprofit of the month is Montana Free Press, and today we have Sarah Penix with us. Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for coming. So introduce yourself. Tell us how long you've been a part of Montana Free Press.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sarah Penix. I'm the development manager at Montana Free Press and coming up on 2 years with the organization.
Great.
So, yeah.
So the one thing we like to ask everybody to do is tell us in 10 words or less, what does your organization do?
All right, I'll try my best.
Yeah, all right. You do it.
Montana Free Press is a nonpartisan nonprofit newsroom that covers the state house and local communities throughout Montana.
I think it was over 10 words, but it was good. It's very good. All right. So we always pick a few questions from our viewers on Facebook, or we make them up. It depends on the day. But tell us a bit. Can you tell me what makes the Montana Free Press different from other news agencies? Because I don't think we see that nonprofit model in a lot of places.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's been growing since John Adams, our founder, started Montana Free Press in 2016. He was laid off of the State House Reporting Bureau in 2015, and then started Montana Free Press as kind of a way to fill that hole in state house reporting. And we are all member funded, so we recently broke 4,000 supporters.
Okay.
And those are really that's really the lifeblood of this organization that keeps us going. And we're really here to serve. We're an independent news organization that's able to really serve the information needs of Montanans through data and investigative storytelling.
So I mean, some things that would probably be different than, I'm just thinking of the other types of news I would consume as a reader. Not ads.
No ads, right? No ads,
and not
no paywall.
No paywall.
It's free for all.
So you're just invited to become a supporter.
Absolutely, yep.
And that also probably changes a bit how you conduct your reporting, because nonprofits, we talked about this before, but nonprofits have a requirement to be nonpartisan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of us are used to these days our news coming with a bent,
yeah.
I mean, I know I've seen the chart that's like, I like watching this. Here's which way this is leaning, things like that.
Oh yeah, for
so
sure.
This would probably be a little bit different. Can you speak to that at all?
Absolutely. So, because we are independent and not beholden to any other corporates, the traditional corporate news model has, it's exactly that. It has corporate interests in mind, and is and can be also, with the kind of digital age and ads, ads can really dictate what kind of coverage happens with bigger media conglomerates. And Montana Free Press is really able to invest in our reporters and invest in that kind of in-depth journalism that the primary goal is to give the facts to people who care about Montana and want to know more.
Right. And you guys tend to pick the political stuff is pretty consistently present. That's one of the highlights. But you guys cover a lot of things, and you're starting to open. I've noticed Helena has its own newsletter. Great Falls has been added too. So it seems like in an atmosphere where most news agency, or at least most papers, I'm thinking specifically, have been shrinking and changing, you guys are growing.
Yeah, we're growing. It's amazing, and we're part of a national the Institute for Nonprofit News, and since we started, it was around 40 papers or outlets that were around in 2016, and now it's over 400. I mean, it's a model that is working and people want to invest in because they're seeing the lack of local community reporting and the lack of nonpartisan, independent, information that people can access.
So when you guys started, it was 40, and now it's 10 times that many?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So we're seeing this as a model that has legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's working, and people are interested in supporting it. Not just Montana Free Press, but nonprofit newsrooms around the country.
It makes sense, honestly, and I think that that's one of the things that I love about the nonprofit network is we're oftentimes trusted in a way that some other businesses aren't, because we have a mission and they have, someone who's profiting.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us, like most people, if those of you who know a lot about nonprofits know that, break even budgeting is our goal. We're not trying to make a lot, we're just trying to cover all of our bases. So,
So
that's kind of an interesting way to think about it and look at it.
Yeah.
And then because you're digital, don't have to deal with printings and
right.
things like that.
Yeah,
so that's probably definitely a little easier,
big. Yes.
Than a typical subscriber model.
Right, absolutely. What is a little unique though is we offer free republications for newspapers around the state. So that's a lot of small weeklies, in communities around Montana. And so that's an awesome way that we're able to reach print. And we've been expanding into a broadcast as well. So that's really exciting stuff, and trying to broaden our reach for folks who might not be able to, go to the montanafreepress.org website all the time.
Or might not have learned about it yet.
Exactly.
Too.
Yeah.
There's still some generations that are very tied to the paper.
Oh yeah.
And I noticed in that even just locally in the Helena IR that there's been, I think, more.
Yeah.
I don't remember after a certain amount of years, or a few years back probably wouldn't have been really as available, but in the last year I feel like I've seen a lot of Montana Free Press stories be reprinted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we'll see it in the Bozeman Daily Chronicle, and then also like small weeklies. MT43 in Townsend will republish our work, and that's always a delight to see too.
So what kind of stories is Montana Free Press most interested in covering?
Yeah, we've got our full-time reporters covering education, environment, politics, healthcare, and economy. Not to forget that one, right? Kind of important. Yeah. So we've got reporters on those beats, and then we're really, with the gap in news, we're really looking to expand local community-based stories. And so that's what you've seen with the Helena newsletter, the Great Falls newsletter, and then actually this week we hired a local reporter in Missoula. So they'll be partnering with the journalism school at University of Montana, and really expanding that community-based coverage there. So.
Very cool. And I remember seeing recently a thing about we're funding so-and-so to get to Glasgow.
Mm-hmm. It's our second year doing these reporter residencies. So our full-time reporters will spend a week in a more rural newsroom, and we had Mara in Glasgow covering the nursing home in Glasgow. So cool. Really neat. And then we've got Amanda going to Ekalaka later this month.
Oh my goodness. Going to all the corners.
Exactly.
And then what do you think the biggest misunderstanding readers might have when they look at something like Montana Free Press?
I think the climate we're in really, a lot of people think that, there's always a political leaning with journalism, and that's really the driver. And I think the rise in nonprofit news and the success of Montana Free Press over the past 8 years really shows that there's an appetite for nonpartisan news and for non-biased information that can really help inform the public. And no matter what your political views are, that's really valuable, and there's a place for it. So I think that's just something that we continue to work on and build understanding. And my senses and really what it shows is that people really are interested in that, just the facts, journalism.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that we're in a place in a climate as a nation where we're losing that in a lot of places. Like a lot of our biggest names are not just the facts, but they say they are.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
there used to be, like, when I was a kid, I feel like there was this sort of understanding that if it was news, it was accurate. And now I think we're losing that. So I think it's great to see an emergence of that.
Yeah.
In a new source.
Right.
So,
and like, what does balanced storytelling look like in 2024?
Yeah. Tell me about, you guys have some things coming up. Tell me about a little bit about what you're doing. You've got Free Press Fest.
Yeah, we've got the first Free Press Fest taking place in Missoula on September 5th through 7th, and it's really an ideas festival. It'll be a 3-day event with keynote speakers and sessions and panels on issues that Montanans really care about. We'll be talking about healthcare and the education assessment that's happening this year on the state level. We'll be talking about the Senate race. It'll really be covering a lot of things, and our goal is to bring all kinds of people together to have these meaningful conversations and create space for that kind of really civic dialogue and kind of
So when you say Ideas Fest, who's the audience? Who would come?
Yeah, we're really hoping that anyone who's interested in being civically engaged will join us for the sessions and for the event. And we're thinking about people who are everyone from who's involved in their communities to leaders in the state. So really hoping to reach as many folks as possible. It'll be supported in part by University of Montana, and so we're looking for academics, politicians, and really just anyone who's wanting to learn more and engage.
So it's it sounds like when you say an Ideas Fest, it's a bit, you're looking for maybe some two-way dialogue. So you've got people who are presenting, but then maybe have some conversation beyond that.
Yeah. So it's really going to be panel and conversation based. So we'll have a keynote speaker. They're coming in from DC, a big political strategist from Messina. And then we'll also be, our reporters have been organizing panels with leaders in the state on different topics and really encouraging that dialogue with the audience. So
that sounds pretty cool. So if people want to learn more or subscribe, or I mean, I know I've been following Javon's Helena weekly piece for a while. How do people get involved?
Folks can sign up on mtfp.org or montanafreepress.org. There's all of our newsletters are available for signing up, and then all of our stories are also available there.
And then you do have most of it's written articles, newsletters, but you have a podcast?
Yep. Well, we have a podcast that's in conjunction with a collaboration with Yellowstone Public Radio and Montana Public Radio during the legislative session. So we'll be starting our 4th season in 2025. Yeah.
Cool. Tell me, what do you think is going to be the most interesting story coming out of 2024?
Man, I just started working on our annual report, so I'm thinking, and I've really been thinking about that the past couple days, and I think, of course, what's to come with election season will be incredibly interesting and important. And, some of our collaborative investigative pieces this year are series. Mara did a story on foster care and the disproportionate number of Native children in foster care in the state. And then, actually also, youth related, Alex Sackerson did a story about childcare as a workforce issue, because last year it was estimated that 60,000 adult workers were underemployed due to the lack of childcare in our state. And
or the inability to afford it, probably.
Exactly. Yeah.
We hear about that a little bit. We share space with
yes, absolutely.
I'm more aware of healthcare as probably most non-parents would be, but not as intimately involved as those who are dealing with healthcare.
So I think those two series are incredibly impactful, and we're continuing to see the feedback from those.
Yeah, and this particular, this is now I think the second time where the Senate race has gotten, I mean, national notice.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of ready for us to go back to not being a target of national.
Absolutely. Yeah. National, I mean, I know that will be, and our reporters have been covering it closely and will continue to. And as it develops.
Yeah. Well, so check out Montana Free Press. So MTP.
MTFP.org
or MontanaFreePress.org.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Sarah, for coming.
Thank you, Emily.
If you haven't signed up, if you're not familiar with Montana Free Press, I know I've been a reader for a while, and it's pretty useful information. So if you're needing a little more news or a little more balance, sign up.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, and then thank you for watching. Please find more information about our nonprofit of the month, Montana Free Press, on Facebook, and on our website. You can also see our past Ask Me Anythings at HelenaAreaCommunityFoundation.org. We should find a shortened version of our URL. We haven't looked into that yet. It's way too long. But if you can type it out, HelenaAreaCommunityFoundation.org. Lots of good material there.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.